Less than 20 years ago, the earth in Africa began to tear apart, with cracks appearing across various nations, even splitting a man's home into two halves. Since then, it has become clear that Africa is experiencing a continental rift. A continental rift is when a continent is set to break into two or more parts, leading to the creation of new continents, islands, and oceans, forever changing the world as we know it. But why is Africa splitting? What is causing the land to tear apart? And what does this mean for Africans and the world? In 2005, images and reports surfaced of a rift in East Africa. A continental rift is a process where a continent begins to split into multiple sections. This phenomenon is common worldwide and is the reason our current continents exist, formed by the shifting of tectonic plates. To understand the ongoing changes in Africa, it's important to look back hundreds of millions of years. During that time, the Earth was a single, solid landmass surrounded by one vast ocean, known as Pangaea and Panthalassa, respectively. Over millions of years, the Earth's crust heated, cooled, and fractured, resulting in the formation of the continents, islands, oceans, and seas we see today. Although it might seem that the Earth is static, it is in a constant state of motion and change. The Earth's outer shell, called the lithosphere, which we walk on every day, consists of 15 to 20 tectonic plates that are continuously shifting. These plates, which form our continents and islands, can be likened to pieces of a cracked shell lying on a sea of molten rock inside the planet's core. The intense heat from the Earth's core causes these plates to move either apart or towards each other, a process known as tectonic shift or plate motion. If you've ever noticed how South America's east coast and Africa's west coast fit together on a globe, it's because they were once joined. New continents and oceans emerged when this supercontinent split apart. According to NASA's Earth Observatory, the Somalian plate in the east is drifting away from the older and larger Nubian plate, also known as the African plate. Both these plates are also moving away from the Arabian plate in the north, creating a Y-shaped rift system in the Afar region of Ethiopia. This phenomenon is known as the East African Rift. The East African Rift stretches approximately 2,175 miles from the Red Sea to Mozambique. Should the Somalian plate completely detach from the Nubian plate, Africa could eventually split into two distinct landmasses. This scenario would be monumental for geologists and scientists, marking the first such event since the separation of South America and Africa hundreds of millions of years ago. However, this process will take 5 to 10 million years to complete, far beyond our lifetimes. One possible outcome of this rift is the formation of a new sea between the split landmasses, potentially creating a new continent that includes parts of Somalia, Eritrea, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, and Mozambique. Landlocked countries like Ethiopia and Uganda could benefit greatly from the emergence of a new coastline, opening up new trade and economic opportunities. Ken McDonald, a marine geophysicist and professor at the University of California, Santa Barbara, explains that the Gulf of Aden and the Red Sea will eventually flood the Afar region and the East African Rift Valley, forming a new ocean and creating a separate small continent in East Africa. Although this rift is slowly widening at a rate comparable to the growth of toenails, the process is still ongoing. While the exact cause of these rifts remains debated among scientists, a prevailing theory suggests that increased heat flow from deep within the Earth is causing thermal bulges, which can be seen in central Kenya and north-central Ethiopia. These bulges fracture the Earth's brittle crust, forming normal faults and leading to volcanic activity. A key feature of the East African Rift is the presence of a rift valley, a lowland area formed as tectonic plates move apart. Rift valleys, unlike river or glacial valleys, are created by tectonic activity rather than erosion. The Great Rift Valley, which stretches from the Middle East to Mozambique, is one of the most well-known examples, known for its geological activity, including volcanoes, hot springs, geysers, and frequent earthquakes. The East African Rift has two main branches, the Western Rift and the Gregory Rift, each with unique characteristics. While the Gregory Rift is known for its volcanic activity, the Western Rift has deep basins filled with large lakes and sediments. The East African Rift system offers scientists a rare opportunity to study how rifts work on land, providing valuable insights into how continents break apart and oceans form. As Africa continues to split, the East African Rift will shape the future of the region, holding significance for geologists, ecologists, and governments alike. The ongoing changes in the rift may not only influence the landscape but also affect human evolution, as it has done in the past. With its geological complexity and potential for geothermal energy, the East African Rift remains one of the most important and intriguing natural phenomena on Earth.